Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our channel once again. The only sure combination that can defeat William Ruto in 2027 is that of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Edwin Sifuna, supported by Rigathi Gachagua. But the question has always remained one: can the two work together? Because clearly two factors are at play here. The first one is popularity. Who between Sifuna and Kalonzo is popular? The truth is, as we speak, Sifuna is more popular. And the question therefore is, can Sifuna supporters agree to support Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka with Sifuna as his running mate? So that's very important. And the other important factor is experience. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is more experienced, politically speaking. And the question therefore is, with that experience, a former foreign affairs minister, a former vice president, has been Raila Odinga's running mate on 2 occasions. Can that person agree to deputize Edwin Sifuna? And can his supporters agree to support Sifuna for presidency and Kalonzo for running mate? Those are the only factors which can prevent the two from working together. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody who's been following the politics of this country very closely, earlier this week, in fact not earlier this week, there has been the story that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has been contemplating working with William Samoei Arap Ruto if he is not picked as the sole presidential candidate by the opposition.
And you have declared yourselves the guarantors of our unity. Yes. If I hear that Edwin umekutana na Ruto, utakuisha kabisa. If my brother Rigathi ajaribu kamwe, because they are sending all kinds of emissaries, ajaribu kusema akutane na Ruto, that will be the end of it. Remember the story in the Bible of Lot's wife? Yeah? You look back, anybody looking back will be a betrayer of national consciousness.
Thank you. And that he was really disappointed by the fact that as things stand today, Rigathi Gachagua can actually be on the ballot. And therefore the meeting yesterday between Kalonzo and Sifuna is significant, politically speaking, and I want to talk about it.
So we have only 2 missions here. We have only 2 missions here today. First of all, as the Linda Mwananchi, we have gone around the country. Your Excellency, our people want to see us together. They want to see one team united as the people who believe that President William Ruto does not deserve a second term, and that the message we have carried from the ground in all these places that we have gone is that we must preach the unity of the opposition. And it's a unity that is based on certain values, and I'm coming to that as our second agenda here today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Sifuna has been traversing the country. We've not been seeing Kalonzo Musyoka. But yesterday we saw Kalonzo Musyoka with Edwin Sifuna.
Is to try to build consensus amongst the leadership of the opposition as to what they view is important to the people of Kenya at this particular moment in time. Your Excellency, increasingly we hear from young people especially that democratic governance and freedoms and the values that are expressed in our constitution are better than these shiny things that we see, because they believe roads can be built by anyone, but only a Democrat will protect the freedoms and rights under our constitution. So we started these consultations or courtesy calls. We had a chat with your brother, Fred Matiangi. We have come to you. We will be looking for all the other leaders in the opposition with the same message, Your Excellency. And we are hoping that we will not let down Kenyans, but we will present one formidable team. As we say, huko kwa ground, team ni moja, tamu ni moja. Team ni moja, tamu ni moja. Asante sana, karibu, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
What did they discuss? That's exactly what I want to analyze in this video. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. Number one, why they met is the winning formation. The only way the opposition in Kenya can defeat William Ruto is if they agree to support one of them. And really Sifuna has been making it very clear that team ni moja, tam ni moja. Which means even Sifuna himself knows that if that team will not be one, they cannot defeat William Ruto. So for them to craft a winning formation, they must hold several meetings. They must give and they must take. The truth is, in that formation, Kalonzo must be there fully, Sifuna must be there fully, Matiangi must be there, not necessarily, but one man, Rigathi Gachagua, must be fully in that team.
I hope you reach out to him. Sure, you reach out to Martha, you reach out to Fred, reach out to everybody, to Amunyoro. Yeah, to Amunyoro, and so that he, at the end of the day, remember in 3 days' time, today is the 30th day of July 2026.
So I think there's been tension. There's been tension, that's the truth, between Rigathi, his allies, and Sifuna. And that's why you hardly see Rigathi Gachagua's allies accompanying Sifuna in Linda Mwananchi. Kalonzo has been having problems with Linda Mwananchi because some of his allies are there on their own. Even Matiangi is being isolated by people like Onyonka. So there's been that Cold War, and there's no way Kalonzo can come out to tell Sifuna, because Sifuna is a movement today. And people believe that, if Kalonzo were to talk against his allies in Linda Mwananchi, even the momentum in Linda Mwananchi might actually go down. So they met to discuss the winning formation, because if they can't agree, they're headed nowhere. Number two, there was this fear of Kalonzo joining Ruto. Just like I was saying, the only formation that can defeat Ruto is Sifuna and Kalonzo, supported by Rigathi. Any fallout that might force Kalonzo out to work with Ruto will seal the fate of the opposition. In fact, if William Ruto were to win the support of Kalonzo, there's something about Kalonzo. Kalonzo has the solid camper vote. He will go with them wherever he wants. So if you were to mess up with Kalonzo and out of protest, he decides, I'm going with Ruto, because according to what I was told, Ruto is even contemplating giving Kalonzo now the running mate. Because look at it objectively. Kindiki might not deliver. But if Ruto were to team up with Kalonzo, Ruto will be sure of Kalonzo delivering the Ukambani and even parts of coastal region. So there's been that talk. And this is what Sifuna is trying to avoid, because it has reached a point where for Sifuna to survive politically, they must defeat Ruto.
Farewell to our friend.
Your Excellency.
The only day one.
Tam ni jamo bro.
And that's why sometimes I believe that Sifuna can actually sacrifice for Ruto to be defeated. Number three, these guys was sending a message to their supporters. They wanted to assure their supporters that Kalonzo is going nowhere, that they are willing to sacrifice, that they are doing everything possible to ensure that they remain united. Because if you don't see Kalonzo with Sifuna, but you see Sifuna every time with Matiangi, what do you conclude? What do you conclude? And importantly, there's this tension between allies of Kalonzo, those who are close to Kalonzo and Sifuna, because they believe that Sifuna is creating a parallel team of Wiper leaders in Ukambani. Wavinya Ndeti is not very happy, for example, that Sifuna's group are working freely with the Mavoko MP who is opposing her down there. Yeah? So those tension is what they're trying to deal with. In fact, for the first time, I saw Mike Sonko with Kalonzo, and those who are here have always challenged Kalonzo to look for Sonko, because Sonko can help him with the campaigns, can help him consolidate Ukambani region. And importantly, I look at this as part of Sifuna's elaborate strategy for Nairobi. Because as long as the Luhya nation and the Luo nation are not going to vote as a bloc in Nairobi, even Sifuna can lose the Senate if he goes back to Senate. Because Sifuna is fronting Faith Odhiambo. Faith Odhiambo wants to become the women rep. Is it the senator for Nairobi? Kalonzo holds that key. And that can actually explain why, during that visit, Faith Odhiambo was part of the delegation. Even Ruben Ndolo wants to reclaim Makadara. But I also don't want to rule out the possibility that Sifuna and Kalonzo are now planning on how to start joint political rallies. Sifuna has traversed the entire country. So I think they are now planning maybe a mega political rally in Nairobi. And for them to hold that mega political rally, they needed the support of Kalonzo, or even the presence of Kalonzo Musyoka in that rally. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.